Hello! Welcome back to the Cosmic Circus Review. My name is Vin. With me is Cam.
Hi, I'm back.
It's
Back,
been
back,
so
back.
long.
It
Oh, I
has.
missed you.
Vin
Oh,
has a beard now,
I have a beard
That's how
now.
long it's been.
Yeah, yeah. And in the same amount of time, Cam grew a little bit of stubble.
Yes, tiny bit. That's all I
Same
can
time.
manage.
The same time. Yeah. All right, guys. So today we're reviewing the finale of Alien Earth, and we might throw in a bit of Marvel Zombies too. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, support us on Patreon. Just a few dollars a month helps support the channel, the work we're doing here. You'll receive exclusive access to our Discord server, mailbag access to ask us questions, and early access to super cool content. Wow! All right, so Cam, last time we talked, very long time ago,
Yes.
Alien Earth.
Yes.
And what were our thoughts on the premiere? Do you remember? How did we feel
I
at the
I
beginning of the
can't
season?
remember that far back now. I should have rewatched the video before.
But do you think at the beginning of the season, were you positive or negative?
I was positive. I think that's what I remember.
Okay, then let's go middle of the season. Were you positive or negative?
If we're talking the flashback episode, very
Yeah,
positive.
very
And
positive.
then,
Okay,
yeah,
then end of the season.
middling to positive. Kind
Yeah,
of had
yeah,
dropped off a little bit towards the
yeah.
end,
It
I
was
found.
it was tough.
Yeah.
Now you're really really good at this. Do you think? Oh my God, this is a challenge though. Can you try to briefly summarize what happens in this show in
My
this
God.
this season?
Okay. So we've
This
got.
is your biggest challenge yet.
So I'll do the start bit first. So we
Mhm.
have a Weyland Yutani vessel, which is sort of similar to the one from the first Alien film,
Mhm.
which has been on a mission to basically collect other specimens of life, but they all end up being really dangerous, which, whether
Mhm.
we find out if that was, on purpose or not later down the line, who knows? And then obviously we find out that that goes incredibly wrong because they brought a xenomorph, eggs on board, and then everything, of course, goes wrong. We find this all out in a
Mhm.
flashback episode, sort of
Lots of, and there's also
midway.
other aliens too,
Yeah,
which we thought was super
there's
cool,
a really
right?
cool eye creature, which is basically like the main villain of the show in a way that can like sort of picks out the other person's eye, shoves
Yeah,
itself in there, and then takes over.
so
You've got
cool.
a weird plant that like swallows people whole.
Yeah,
You've got flies that feed on blood. You've also got
yeah.
little ticks that feed on blood. There's like lots of blood creatures. So yeah, so this Weyland Yutani vessel, everything goes wrong. It ends up crashing in the middle of one South Asia, which is owned by the massive corporation Prodigy, which is owned by the boy Genius, who has a little remote island where he's working on these new type of robot android people where they put the mind of a person into a robot, and that's the future of sort of androids, cyborgs, all of that sort of good stuff.
They call them
um
hybrids.
yes,
Yeah.
hybrids, that's the name. I always forget the name. It's like the least namey name you can think of. So these hybrids, they're still children, bear in mind, because they've trialed it out on children because
Mhm.
children's brains are more malleable. They go on a mission to this spaceship to sort of help rescue people and like be the first sort of introduction. And also, one of the main hybrids realized her brother was there, and her brother thinks she's like dead and gone.
Mhm.
So they go to also rescue him, and then that's when we find out, the alien is still alive.
Mhm.
This hybrid manages to kill the alien, so they bring the xenomorph, dead xenomorph, back, all the eggs back, all the other aliens back to this remote island where they're under lock and key. And then basically you have several episodes where they find out more about these aliens, the hybrids. You sort of find out more about those and how them being kids sort of affects everything and like the way they view the world. On top of this, you have one of the surviving crew members of the crashed ship is out to get all the aliens back for Weyland Yutani. He's a cyborg, so he's basically really powerful. And then it's just, quite a few episodes where they sort of mess around. And then obviously in the end, it's sort of the aliens get out.
Yeah.
But one of the hybrids, the main hybrid, Wendy, she can talk to the aliens, which is sort of a
Yeah.
really cool idea. And then the very last episode, the hybrids realize, oh, everyone should be scared of us instead of them, us scared of them. And then they basically take over the island with
Mhm.
the aliens sort of in the
Mhm.
background. And then, it ends on a cliffhanger with Weyland Yutani on the way to get the aliens back. And then the hybrids are in charge of the island.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, there
I'm
we go.
actually very impressed. That was
I know. I
great.
was like, have I missed
Wow.
anything? There's
No,
other side plots
yeah,
and stuff, but that's the main gist of the
yeah.
show.
And what's amazing too is like you explained it in a way that mostly makes sense.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I felt the show did not make sense, and I was very
yeah,
frustrated with it.
absolutely. Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, even right now when you're going through it, I realized some questions I didn't even think about. Like, for example, in the early episodes, when Wendy kills the alien, it's behind a
yeah.
closed door. We don't see it, and it's kind of like, whoa, how did she do that? And I thought we would get some explanation. We never do.
No,
We actually don't. We never see the hybrids powerful enough to kill a xenomorph, and then she gets this ability to talk to the xenomorphs. We never learned where that came from either.
yeah, like
It's
you know,
and I think the most baffling thing, like the early episodes, I was kind of mixed, but as the episodes go on, I liked it more and more and more. Like episode three, episode four, because there's that opening arc is kind of like an alien movie, like a
yeah,
four-part movie.
yeah,
By the end
yeah.
of that, I'm like, bang, I'm sold. I got it. I love this movie. And then episode five happens. That's the standalone,
The
like
flashback. Yeah,
alien. It's basically like Alien 1979, but a little
yeah,
bit different. And
yeah.
that
And
was
there's
really
more
cool.
aliens in it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, yeah,
and
I
actually,
really enjoyed that episode.
yeah, and what's cool is like that. I think that same week, my local cinema was playing Alien 1979.
Okay,
So
okay,
I
yeah,
either that week or the week after, like I watched two Alien episodes. But basically, I saw them like back to back, which
yeah,
was really cool. But then we talked about this a little on Discord too. Like episode 6 to 8, in those three episodes, it just drops the ball. Like episode 7, so some of my friends were like, no, this is terrible, and I was like, I still have hope.
yeah,
But like at the end of episode 7, that's when like the xenomorph is on the island. That's when Joe, the brother, has killed Nibs,
yeah,
Wendy's friend, and she's like, "What did you do?" And it's like it's got to be like sister versus brother now. And I thought they'd set up all these interesting conflicts, and then episode 8 just pushes that all
yeah.
aside. It's like, what just happened? Did we miss an episode or something?
Yeah, I
And
know. This is the thing with the show. I felt like it needed to be at least a 10 if you've got all these
yeah,
ideas, because there's a lot of ideas that they
so
just sort of
many.
don't
Yeah,
expand on. Nothing goes anywhere. Like with episode 7, you had the whole thing with Kirsch, like setting things up, and he like wanted to keep the cyborg alive for whatever reason, and he had all these other ideas to do with aliens, like you see him tinkering in the lab, and then that all just kind of falls apart in episode 8. Like, I think they just wanted to get the hybrids to the point where they're in charge of the island, basically. But I
yeah.
feel like they very much rushed getting there.
Hmm.
Like,
There's so much interesting setup. There's so many interesting ideas, like you said, and then I just feel like they forgot what they were doing or something.
yeah,
Or it's like they created the finale, then they created the rest of the show going in a slightly different direction, and then said, "Oh, never mind, this is our finale." But
yeah,
like, I don't even understand why they left so many people alive. The hybrids,
yeah. I'm like, it's
like,
an
why
alien TV. I was expecting at least half of
everyone's
them to be
dead,
dead. Like,
right?
the only thing we did is lost one hybrid and
Yeah,
like some of the background soldiers, and that's it. I
yeah,
understand they want to keep the cast alive in case there's a potential season 2, so they've got this cast instead of having to find new people. But at the same time, it's like we needed more threat, a
yeah.
lot more threat from these aliens.
Yeah, and you brought up a great point with Kirsch and Morrow. So Morrow's the survivor,
Yeah,
the cyborg guy. Kirsch is Timothy Olyphant, our love.
yeah,
But but both of them during the show, it's like they had their own unique motivations, and they're pretending to work for the corporations, but really they have their own secret plans. And in the finale, they just forget that, and it's like
yeah,
my company versus your company, and we fight, and both of them live.
yeah,
I wanted somebody to like kill somebody,
yeah,
I wanted
yeah.
something big to happen. The whole season's building up to this, and it's like nothing happens. Ah,
Yeah, and
wet
then the
fart.
other big thing for me is I think we should have a rule where you never shoot the alien in the daytime, because the bit where you can sort of see it in the daytime, I
Yeah,
was like at least make the island at night time or something, like have it a bit more like moving in the shadows. But when you can just see it like running across the bushes or whatever, and then it's just
just
this,
design a
I think this,
costume.
yeah, I was going to say this just showed too much that it was just a guy in a costume. Like all
Yeah,
the other Alien movies do a good job at hiding that, because you don't
yeah,
see the full thing. You only see like when it comes to kill someone, or like its face here or something. But in this show, you could just tell it was a guy running around. It kind of let it down in that way. But I feel like
exactly.
it would have changed if they just shot it at night time, like on the
Yeah,
island. Like it would
yeah.
have added so much more.
Because every time we've seen Alien, it's always on a spaceship
Yeah,
or some like prison or some, we've never seen it like outdoors in like daylight ever,
Yeah, yeah,
right? And watching 1979, you realize you never see like the alien properly because
yeah,
it's scarier when you don't know what it looks like. It's scarier when you just see like a little shape here, a little shape here. Whack! You know,
yeah.
that's the
Because we
cool stuff.
started off so well in the first episode. Like I remember us talking about when it was hidden like a statue and it like snaked
Oh
around
yeah,
it and
yeah,
and then it's just they threw that all away just so they could have it like in the middle of a field, like
yeah.
jumping from person to person. It kind of just ruins the sort of horror vibe of it in a way.
Exactly. And then at the end also when the alien is like a little pet that Wendy
Yeah,
controls, And I
yeah,
wonder if this is all intentional because it really seems like Noah Hawley, the creator, wasn't interested in the xenomorph.
yeah,
He's more interested in the robot stuff. He's interested in the eyeball stuff. He's interested
yeah,
in the everything except the xenomorph. So I
yeah,
wonder if intentionally maybe he wanted to put the xenomorph down. And he
yeah.
wanted to say, the xenomorph is not your biggest problem. It's not that scary. Look, it looks ridiculous. This
Yeah,
eyeball, that
yeah,
is the scary thing. So
and
I
it,
put one monster
yeah.
down to put another up. Yeah, go on.
And in another way, I suppose it's to show the rise of machines and AI because in the end of the show does make the hybrids like the apex predator of the island,
Yeah.
like because the hybrids were, I'll give them like they were scary in the last episode,
Mm.
like even though it's just sort of children pretending to be scary, like it worked. They managed to like subdue everyone, and like you have the weird sort of ginger girl who like thought she was pregnant and then she
Yeah,
wasn't, and
nibs.
yeah,
Yeah.
nibs, and then she managed to like scare. So I will give them that. Like I think the idea of the show is to sort of understand, because like this is probably why we had a cyborg, why we have the androids, why we have the hybrids. Like it's to show about the robots and like them being the big scary parts of sort
Yeah.
of the future in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's like within the Alien franchise, androids they're always like off on their own doing their own thing, and even
Hmm.
because I'm playing Alien Isolation at the
Hmm.
moment because I thought
Hmm.
I'd give it a go. You've got scary androids in that, and they're like in some ways more annoying and more scary than the Alien because it's
That's
like
cool.
they're in the way, they're there, they follow you around, like
Yeah.
they're hard to kill, all of this sort of thing. So
Yeah. I remember at
um
the beginning, I think we mentioned that this felt almost like a Blade Runner prequel
yeah,
more than
yeah,
Alien. And I think you have an interesting point is like in the Alien movies, you do have the robots, but they're definitely always a second position to the aliens.
yeah,
The aliens first. And it's like, oh, by the way, Ash is a robot. Just by
yeah,
the way, the small
yeah,
detail.
yeah,
But this show, there's always a careful balance. Even in Prometheus and Covenant, you have David, Michael Fassbender, but he's still kind of second to the alien lore.
yeah,
And
yeah,
this show subverts that, where it's now more about the robots. And by the way, there's like some alien stuff.
yeah, yeah,
And I don't like. I appreciate the subversion and that it's something different, but also like, is this worthy of being like in the Alien franchise if it doesn't even care about the titular alien?
yeah,
Like what are we
yeah,
doing here? This could have been any other. He probably maybe it was another script, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll add some xenomorphs and then
yeah,
get a lot of
yeah.
money. And maybe this was an original idea he had for something else, and it doesn't mesh very well. I think with the Alien canon or what we expect from aliens
Yeah,
sometimes.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, like if you were to watch this show, like if it gets to season two, it might work its way to sort of the original film a bit more. But I think if you were to watch this and then watch Alien, like using this as a prequel instead of Prometheus and Covenant, I think you'd be far more frustrated by this one than you would by the other two films, because this one ignores those two films and then those two ignore this one. And it's like,
top question. In your rankings, where would you put Alien Earth?
I think it sort of be in the middle. I'd say it's probably better than Resurrection, obviously. And then, I mean, I'm an Alien 3, like, I enjoy
Me too.
Alien
Me
3,
too.
so I
Me
think
too.
it's
Yeah.
worse, maybe like above Resurrection, and then like
But Prometheus and Covenant above those or below?
mm, Prometheus probably below Alien Earth, but Covenant above it, just because I think Covenant does a better job with alien
Interesting.
stuff than Prometheus.
That's really interesting because I've always thought of Prometheus and Covenant as like part one, part two. Like
Yeah,
it's like one part, and you're saying it's like in between them as
yeah,
far as like
I
quality
would.
stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I guess that's a great way to put it. That they're all pretty similar. Like
yeah,
Prometheus has amazing ideas. I don't think the execution is quite there, but it's very cohesive, and the ideas are good. Alien Earth, I don't think is quite cohesive. It has bigger ideas, but it's very sloppy, messy. There's actual story points that just don't.
yeah,
And I think that's my biggest issue. Even like Resurrection, I would say it is cohesive. It is of a vision. and A to Z, like you can, it's linear. Alien Earth, it's like the character motivations, the story points. Nibs is dead, then she's in a jail cell.
Yeah,
What happens here? You know, Wendy and Joe are so angry. What did you do? And then they're fine.
yeah,
What are we doing here? And I don't know. There's just so many points where I'm like, this wasn't set up well enough, or you were setting up something completely different. I really feel like this finale, I genuinely think they could have done a finale that tied up everything perfectly.
yeah.
I think episode 8 was the biggest issue with the whole show.
I think they've done it too much that they want a second season, and it's like Disney Plus is known for being really like finicky with giving second seasons. So whether it does, because I think they released a thing about the end of Alien Earth, like, you know, they're waiting for sort of FX people that make the show to look at the viewing figures and everything. And I mean, I'll give it its due. Like whenever I looked in the top 10, you know, each week Alien Earth was at least in the top 3. So hopefully that means that, you know, and it's like they can focus on that second season and finish telling this story. But you know, I just think if they told a more cohesive sort of first season, then it might have worked more in its favor for getting a second.
Are you interested in watching a second season?
I would be, yes, just because I think if they can really hammer down on these ideas, like give us more of like the weird eye creature, because they spent the last episode wanting it inside a person, and then that never happens. And it's like the only time we got to see it inside a person was on the flashback episode when it's in that engineer. It's
But
like,
at the end of 8, it does go inside Arthur.
Oh, it does. I forgot about that.
Beach.
Why did I forget about that? Yeah, so it does.
And even that, I was like, so this whole island is covered in dead soldiers. There's dead bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
Why does the eyeball go all the way across the island to this beach to get in this guy? Yeah. Other than the fact that he's a great actor and we're excited to see him again. But like, there's all these other hosts it could have taken. So I'm curious why that. But to be honest, if they gave me the second season now, I would probably check it out. But the second season won't come for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's the issue. Yeah,
and when we're looking at the year 2030,
on it. Yeah,
when we're looking at the year 2030, and we're in the middle of World War III, Alien Earth season 2 won't be my priority.
Yeah, it's not going to be high on that priority list. So,
I love Alien, but I just like, if you give me like between Romulus and Alien Earth, I'll take the Romulus flavor. Yeah. But not that Romulus was perfect either, but I felt it captured more of what I liked about Alien than Earth did.
Yeah, I think it had better ideas. Like, you know, I still think about the end of Alien Romulus with the weird baby alien. Like, I don't think anything.
That's very Resurrection.
Nothing in the franchise has come close to that, you know, for a long, long time. So I think if Alien Earth does want to sort of, I think it probably needs a bit more focus on the alien, like the xenomorphs itself. Like, I think we could easily have more weird, like, you know, like some weird animal, you know, like an animal or something looks inside the egg and we have like an alien monkey or something, you know, something like that. Like, I think they could just work on sort of giving us a bit more like weird. And obviously, you know, they have to end it with the aliens dying. So, you know, by the time of the first Alien film, that's the only alien. And it's like, so, yeah.
But I do think the franchise is in a good place right now because, like, Romulus was kind of pretty faithful to the original movies, but also kind of fresh. Alien Earth is such a subversion. It's so different. And the ideas are so ambitious, even though it's not executed, you know, perfectly. But I think between these two, if you found a way to like take what's best about both of them, I think the franchise would be in a really healthy place right now.
Yeah, like I would love an alien film where it's like, you know, androids versus aliens, because, you know, they can't, you know, like, you just have one human with a bunch of androids. The human's the one that get, and then the androids have to deal with the alien.
And that would be a great pitch for Alien Earth season 2.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Suppose there's more aliens now, there's more robots now, and then it's this giant war or something. Going back to what I said in a second ago with Romulus being kind of a throwback but fresh, and then Alien Earth having like subversive original ideas but not quite executing perfectly. It's a little bit like Star Wars, Force Awakens, and Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to like, you know, poke a bear or something, but one of them is like kind of almost a remake in some ways, and then the other one is like so different that it almost like tears apart the fandom. I don't know how many people care about Alien Earth like they did about Last Jedi, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like, but if you put these two together, it's actually quite interesting. Like, so
like you know, they have ideas to tell, like between, you know, what makes the alien an alien, and then you've got all the androids and everything. Because, you know, I really enjoyed the android in Romulus. Like, I thought he was like a really, really good take on one. And then, Alien Earth sort of, I enjoy all the other aliens, and it's like I would like to see the franchise maybe delve into other aliens, because obviously alien as an umbrella term doesn't just mean the xenomorph, it's anything that's alien, basically. So
I remember when I watched the first movie, and I loved it so much. I watched it like 3 times with all the different commentaries, like the same weekend. I just kept watching it.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was Dan O'Bannon. I'm not sure, but one of the creators of the original movie, the writer, I think, and he said the reason he liked the title Alien is because it's both a noun and an adjective.
Yeah.
So it's the noun. This isn't an alien, but it's also an adjective like strange, unusual, unknown, foreigner. So of course when you call it aliens, now it's just the noun.
Yeah.
But the title itself, alien, is like strange, foreign, unknown, and that's wonderful. Like what you're saying, like it's about a bigger concept. It's not just like the xenomorph itself, but what is this concept of what is unknown to us, what is different than us. Yeah, and I love the show that it's making us have these discussions, and it's so interesting.
Yeah.
But just fix your ending.
Yeah, please, stop relying on waiting for that season 2 renewal.
Oh my god!
It's not Netflix where you're probably going to get it, because we know what Disney Plus can be like with renewals. So
it fumbled that ending so bad. Oh my god! All right, let's transition a bit. Talk about Marvel Zombies. So this is 2022. Ooh. It came out just like last week.
Yeah.
Created by Bryan Andrews and Zeb Wells. Bryan Andrews is he's one of the big Marvel animation guys right now. He did What If Season 3, and I think he's in charge of X-Men Season 2, I think
so, probably.
So. And Zeb Wells is a comic guy. He's done a lot with Marvel Studios, but he's also written a lot of comics too. Some excellent, some not so much, but I think his X-Men comics were really good, if I remember correctly. So I think overall, it's pretty solid Marvel team right here. Starring Iman Vellani, Elizabeth Olsen, Todd Williams, Simu, Awkwafina. Lots of other little cameos, but this is like the core. Cam, can you tell us what is Marvel Zombies about?
So it follows on from that season 1 What If episode where sort of Ant-Man and the Wasp is the catalyst, basically, which works well for me, obviously, being such a big fan. So it's instead of when they go down to the quantum realm to rescue Janet, Janet has picked up this quantum realm virus, which has turned her into this, intelligent zombie. So then when Hank and Janet come back up from the quantum realm, everything just starts, they start biting, they shrink down, they bite people, like all of that kind of thing. So in less than 24 hours or whatever, the whole of San Francisco's been turned into zombies. So the Avengers go, but then they get turned into zombies. And then it crashes into Infinity War, where we get Bruce Banner coming back down from space. He finds out that, there's zombies, obviously, and then he gets rescued by Spider-Man and Wasp and all of that sort of stuff. And it's basically set 5 years after all of that happens, where Spider-Man, Scott Lang with his head in a jar, and then Black Panther go to Wakanda, hopefully to sort of save the world. Obviously it doesn't, because 5 years later we find Miss Marvel, Kate Bishop and Riri Williams in the middle of New York. They're sort of still surviving, and then they find a crashed Quinjet which has a tiny shrunken little device in, to which they have to sort of get to a shield base so they can sort of break into it and then get a signal out into space for the Nova Corps to come and sort of rescue Earth. So that's what sets off the grand adventure. You have cameos from other zombie, like Zombie Hawkeye, who's really cool. They go through the Valley of the Dead, is it, or something? I forget what it was called, the valley, but it's basically
cool.
Zombie Captain Marvel and then a really broken down Icarus sort of fighting eternally because they can't kill each other, because they're both that powerful, which I really enjoyed. But it also makes me sad because it's probably the last Eternals content we're going to get for at least 5 years, if I had to guess.
Hey, I'm here. This is our first official Blade content.
And then it sort of carries on, we find, we've got Shang-Chi and we've got Katie, they team up with them. We have it's basically a big mashup of all the Phase 4 and Phase 5 characters finally together in a show, and then, you've got Wanda as the villain again, just out of WandaVision, where she wants, I don't really know why she wants Miss Marvel. I don't think we ever found that out, but she wants the world.
That's not really clear at all. It's a little bit strange.
It gets a bit strange. She wants the power of the Infinity, because it's something happened.
That part is clear.
Yeah. She wants the power of the Infinity Stones.
Why Miss Marvel is like the most important.
Yeah,
Like I understand, make her your protagonist. Cool, that's
yeah,
great. But I don't understand why she's center to this plot of like
yeah,
the Scarlet Witch's plot. I didn't get that. There's a
yeah.
lot of multiverse of madness in this,
There is. Yeah,
right? A lot of
yeah,
influence from that. And what you're saying, I love how this is. They're basically using the animated shows like What If It and this to give us the Avengers movie that we're missing
yeah.
right now.
The one that we should have got like 2 years ago, probably.
Yeah.
But
Because like it's so cool. Miss Marvel's meeting Spider-Man. Miss Marvel's
yeah,
meeting Shang-Chi. And you're seeing all like the champions, the young Avengers hanging out. I'm like, yes, do this in live action. You
yeah,
know what we want. Just give
yeah,
it to us.
yeah.
But
Like
probably it's cheaper to do it in animation.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
it
like
took them 4 years to get this out from the What If episode, so
yeah, that's
it's
true.
each
That's
to their
true.
own. But
Yeah.
um,
But
yeah,
just hearing their voices, like, because a
yeah,
lot of them are the actual actors. Hearing all the young Avengers voices together, I'm like, this is amazing. Like,
yeah.
this is
Like
what I wanted.
the whole first episode just being Miss Marvel, Riri, and Kate Bishop together, like that is what we've been wanting.
Yeah.
Like we've only had teasers in post-credit scenes
Yeah.
where like Miss Marvel's gone out to talk to Kate Bishop and like that sort of
Yeah.
thing, and it's like now we have to wait more years because they're not even doing a Young Avengers project for ages, and
Oh my
it's like
God.
so
Yeah.
frustrating because it's like we just want it.
I feel like I don't know if you saw they did an interview when they're asking about Blade being in this as Moon Knight.
Yeah,
And they're
because
like, we thought the Blade movie would be out by
yeah,
now. And I
yeah.
feel like they also thought, Young Avengers would be out by
Yeah,
now.
you
So
can
like
tell this was designed in mind with where they thought Marvel would be sort of 4 years later from 2021, which obviously we haven't got to. Because we have Blade, we've got the Young Avengers, we have the Eternals bit, we've got Captain Marvel, all of
mhm.
that sort of thing. And it's just like, I mean, Marvel, it was a collection of good ideas sort of wrapped up in sort of a middling story, I found. Like,
There
I
once
really,
was an idea.
yeah. Like I
Ah,
really enjoyed what they did do with some of the zombies. Like I enjoyed Zombie Captain Marvel. Like that whole scene was very good. Where
it's
it's just
awesome.
like, yeah, I enjoyed what they did with the raft. That being like used as like a last
Yeah. What a great
bastion for like,
surprise.
yeah. Like
Great
I didn't
surprise.
even know the raft could move, but apparently it can. So,
Why
I
not?
really enjoyed Zombie Namor and all of that sort of scene.
Yes, the designs are so good. The
Yeah,
action, the horror, like
yeah,
the spectacle of it all looks amazing.
yeah,
Sometimes it gets very anime,
yeah,
like
yeah,
X-Men 97 did. Really cool.
yeah.
What didn't work is I never felt any emotional connection. I
No.
never cared. And the fact that it's
I
all
didn't really know what the plot was doing half the time. Like, I understood Wanda wanted a power for some reason, but then, because it ends with basically another WandaVision moment where she's made this sort of Earth again, right
yeah,
for Miss Marvel, but she's the only one that is sort of left it. And well, no,
yeah.
it's Riri's in it. Riri basically hacks
Somehow,
through. Yeah, and it's like, again, they did the Alien Earth thing where they've left it for a season 2, but we don't know if there's going to be a season 2, and it's going to be another 3-4 years before, if there ever is a season 2. And it's like, it
yeah,
should have just been
yeah,
the 4-part, told the tale,
yes.
left
I,
it.
and like weirdly, I was telling you, like it's nice doing both of these discussions in the same video because both of them have similar problems. Like there's
Yeah,
so many things we like about them.
yeah,
Marvel Zombies has some of my Miss Marvel and Blade are like my two favorite characters, and I love Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch. Like
yeah,
her portrayal specifically, Multiverse of Madness, WandaVision. I love that. Like there's so many things I love in this, and I love horror stuff. I love zombie stuff. Like there. I love Marvel, obviously. There's so much stuff I should love. This is Last of Us Marvel,
yeah,
Marvel Last of
yeah,
Us. Why don't I love it more?
yeah,
Like
exactly.
everything on paper, all the ingredients are there, but there's no emotional connection. Part of the problem is that it's all multiverse, and we know everyone can just die, and who it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
I don't care when people die because I know it's all just like alternate characters.
Yeah, like
They
that.
they
This is the issue with stemming it from a what if episode. Basically, it's like, oh well, this is just another universe. Like, it's like, why should we sort of care what
yeah.
happens in this one?
Yeah, everything's disposable.
Yeah,
What I'm most interested in is because I would read. I was talking to Vic about this when we did our comics video. I would really like to see this tie into Secret Wars.
yeah,
Like in Secret Wars, I want to see the zombie universe,
yeah.
and
I
I
was
want
gonna
to
say,
see the
I can
survivors in
definitely
live
imagine
action.
like them bringing the zombies, like at least one little aspect of it into like whether or
Yeah,
not it will be zombie Wanda or like someone else or
yeah,
something like that. Like, it would be
yeah.
very interesting to see. 'Cause it's like
But that,
I
mhm,
enjoyed some of the twists in it. Like I enjoyed the twist with the Nova Corps basically quarantining Earth.
Which
And it's
makes sense. It does make sense.
It does make sense.
That's what happened in 28 years later.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's like Earth's basically no one's allowed to leave it or visit it, that kind of thing, in case they're carrying the infection, which makes sense. Like, I really enjoyed that twist because it's like, oh, it's just these heroes. Like you're not going to get the Guardians coming to sort of save the day, or like, we might not see the Guardians, or we might see them. You never know. If they do a season 2, it's like they've got this whole other aspect they can sort of work on.
Yeah. I mean, it makes you even wonder, why didn't they just destroy the planet? The Nova Corps.
Yeah.
There's a great science fiction book I love called Xenocide, which is about a containment on a planet. And like, should you if you kill the infected species, that itself is some kind of genocide.
Yeah.
If they're sentient enough. Imagine if the zombies were sentient. But also, should the government just destroy this planet and just clean up the whole problem entirely?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very complicated moral question. So, and see if we get season 2, I'd like to see a bit more of what's happening in space.
Yeah.
Like, how is Nova Corps responding? What's going on with the Guardians? I was curious, where's Loki? Because I don't know. I feel like Loki could have some say in all of this and what's happening.
Yeah.
I wanted them to call Hulk the Infinity Hulk. I think that'd be a cool name.
I mean, I enjoyed that bit where it's like, you have the sort of self-sacrificial Bruce Banner, which I thought was really like part of his character and like who he is. So I really enjoyed when they did that. And then, you have Hulk sort of, I mean, the last episode sort of floundered a bit when it just turned into like big battle, and it's like you've got Hulk punching, giant zombies and everything. But
it gets very cartoony.
Yeah. I mean, I did enjoy what they did with all the, all the Pym tech, and like you had the giant zombies and everything. Like, I really loved that.
The little bugs,
and the
bugs.
little
awesome.
tiny bugs. Yeah. So that was very interesting.
Just imagine, like, you're just walking through, you don't see anything, and then a little goes up your nose. Now you're a zombie.
Yeah.
I liked the Asgard scene where they're like eating their feasts, and it turns out they're just eating zombie body parts. What a brilliant way to
was like really. She was like probably one of the best parts of this. Like just her like villainous ways, because it's like she manages, even though she's a zombie, she can disguise herself so she's not like, just shows how like powerful she still is. And then like,
and I really like that it was Elizabeth Olsen. It was Elizabeth Olsen doing it.
Yeah,
because I was like, there's no way she's coming back for this. And I was like, oh my god.
I mean, I feel like they probably recorded these years ago and then they've all forgotten about it by now.
so I really like her take on the character, especially these past couple of years.
Yeah,
when she's like playing with Vellani and stuff. I don't think they should make her 100% a villain. Like, I'd like to see her
I would
kind of be redeemed
like
or something.
Like, I want like a proper Avenger Wanda bit now. Yeah. Like, I think we did like whenever she comes back from the dead or whatever in the main MCU, or like I think I would like it to have a hero moment, like where she's actually like good and like
for sure.
But
like, as long as we're playing with villain Wanda, I think this was a great use of the character.
Yeah.
But I love the designs. Zombie Thanos looks great. Zombie Namor looks great. I was surprised. I loved when Miss Marvel meets Spider-Man. Like, that is the moment that you wait for as Miss Marvel.
This is the bit we wanted this in live action. It's like, even though we've got it in What If, but
I would have liked to see her respond also to the fact that he's not wearing his mask.
Yeah,
because Spider-Man always wears his mask, and the first time she's seeing, you're my age, you're a white guy, or something. She's never seen him unmasked. I would have liked to see something with that, but like Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, like that trio, or like with the Young Avengers, like this is what we were waiting for. From the Multiverse Saga. It's just frustrating because like the multiverse stuff, I wanted more of that in live action. And the only multiverse movie we really got is like Fantastic Four, I guess.
Yeah. Like, we didn't really, like, even in Multiverse of Madness, you never really stayed in too many other universes. Like, I wanted a bit more weirdness out of the whole idea, or like, you have this other, like, just show more of it. I think that would have been cool.
So, and Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, now that those are going to be our like capstones for the Multiverse Saga, do you want them to be something like what Multiverse of Madness did, something like What If, something like Marvel Zombies? How do you want them to handle the multiverse while they're also handling Doom? And with What If, we have all these different universes, or Multiverse of Madness, we have all these little things. Like, how do you want them to wrap up this whole multiverse saga?
I mean, the only way I can think is closing it back up like you had with He Who Remains in the first Loki, where he just had his singular timeline that no one else could visit
Just
from any
go
other.
back to where we started.
So just go back. Like, that's the only way I can probably think they might do it. I mean, I imagine Secret Wars is probably going to end with some like big explosion or like some big white out, and you're going to have the new universe to come back to with like elements from like, this is probably how the Fantastic Four will end up in the main MCU. Like, they'll just be as if they were part of it, you know, for the whole time, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, I do think Secret Wars, I mean, obviously Doomsday is sounding a little bit more closed in because it's not got as big of a, you know, you were expecting more Phase 4, Phase 5 characters, but you've only got sort of Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, you know, it's like no Miss Marvel, you know, none of the Disney Plus people really.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think completely. Secret Wars is going to be the big one where they get probably absolutely everyone. So it would be nice to see maybe more multiverse stuff in that one. Like Doomsday, I can understand maybe like it's probably going to end with Doom like opening up, you know, the Secret Wars aspect of it all. So
I mean, you say that, but Doomsday is still, you know, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, New Avengers, and X-Men, and that's still that's actually quite a lot. Still, you know, and you're like, where's She-Hulk? Where's Moon Knight? Where's Miss Marvel? Well, yeah, but now there's too many characters now. This is their fault. They did this.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the issue with Phase 4 and 5. You introduce too much, and then we've just not seen anyone outside of...
It does pay off in something like Marvel Zombies, which is clearly designed for the fans.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we know you probably see most of this stuff, and so we can throw in any random character, and we can just go with it. But in these big movies, it's a bigger burden because they're going, like, my grandma hasn't seen any of this stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And they have to build something that's built for quadrant audiences for everybody to be accessible. But that's hard because they're also paying off all this stuff, too much stuff.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all? That's why like this animated stuff is a better, for us, it's like a better culmination than Doomsday and Secret Wars might be. Because this is what Phase 4 and 5 were building to in a weird way.
Yeah.
I just wish it was a little more like live action, even if it's a short. I just want, like, you know, give me a special, Young Avengers special.
Yeah, like,
you know,
this is
45 minutes, and they're all just getting pizza.
Yeah,
done.
Like that,
done.
You know, like I've always said, like they could easily do like a holiday special where it's like they're all having like maybe like Kate Bishop's having a party or something, and then all the Young Avengers turn up, and there's like a little fight with some C-list villain or something, you know, and then that's all you need. Like that would please plenty of people.
And now you've got all the characters. They meet each other. They have a little fight. They make friends. And now you're set up to see them in Avengers later.
Yeah.
But you didn't invest like $200 million on a movie.
Yeah, in a 6-part show that, you know, sort of ends up not being as good as you thought.
Just Kate Bishop's pizza party. That's it. That's all you need.
Yeah, like if you don't want to commit to a Hawkeye season 2, just do that. You know, just give us a little special or something.
Yeah, Hawkeye season 2 or Miss Marvel season 2 or anything like that. Just there you go. Young Avengers pizza special.
I mean, I know we've got Wonder Man and the Vision Quest to come, but outside of that, I don't want to see another sort of solo show. Like, renew some of your other shows. Like, please give us. You know, you've got this TV for a reason. Like,
exactly, and even those, like, I don't know who's excited for those.
Yeah,
Wonder Man, Vision Quest. Who are they? What?
Yeah, I mean, Vision Quest I can understand because it's like the third part of the WandaVision, Agatha. You know, you've got that little trifecta. But Wonder Man, it's like, you know, he was an Avenger for a bit, but...
Yeah, I mean, I trust that it'll be great, but my impression of that is going to be like the studio. Yeah, we already saw the studio. So.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be like Hollywood, but just Marvel. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, it's got Trevor Slattery in it, so
But again, it's a weird stepping stone because this is going to be one of the final things before Doomsday.
Yeah.
Have we lost the plot? You know. Okay, so coming back to this, Marvel Zombies. Are you excited for a season 2?
I would be, yes. I did enjoy season 1. I just hate when they leave it on, because it's going to be another 3 years now, but they'll probably have more people to bring in it then maybe. So, like, we might get some X-Men or something like that. So, because that's the one thing I was shocked that they didn't do was put an X-Man in it. Because, you know, what if season 3 we got Storm? Yeah, it's like it would have been nice to maybe see some X-Men. Like, you know, they've just been part of like this What If universe or whatever. Yeah,
when there was the lightning in episode 1.
Yeah, I
didn't know Icarus was. I thought it was Storm.
Yeah, I thought it was Storm. Yeah.
Can you imagine like the zombie X-Men? That would be cool to see also.
I mean, I definitely think that's probably what hopefully they'll work up to, but it would be nice to see.
Or better. What if
Yeah.
this is not going to happen? I would like to see the zombie infection spread across the multiverse.
Yeah.
And now all those what if universes that we saw, all those weird universes from Multiverse of Madness, now zombies are taking
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
Imagine the Paint universe with zombies. What would
Yeah.
that be? Right? But imagine X-Men 97 with zombies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa. And that could be a whole like animated like crossover crisis
Yeah.
event, all these universes we've set up, now there's zombies and they have to,
Yeah, I mean, you've got Wanda in there, and she can like reality warp and everything. So why not just make her like multiversal levels of powerful, where she can just infect, infect whoever.
Then the challenge is for the writers, how do you stop this?
Yeah,
But that's
Yeah.
what makes a good story. And when you write it into a corner, you're like, oh my god, how are we gonna get out of this? That's a great story. Like, and I felt Alien Earth also was kind of going there, but then they fumbled it
Yeah.
at the end. So both of these shows, I think there's things we really liked, frustrating
Yes.
endings a little bit, and
yes,
hesitant on season 2.
yes.
Marvel Zombies, I'm more excited for season 2.
Yeah.
Because I think they executed what they wanted to do much better, even if it's not perfect, but it is what they wanted it to be. I
Yeah.
just needed a stronger emotional center somehow.
Yeah.
But it's just hard with the multiverse stuff, Like when people die, you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah, it's like,
you're not
see
the
you in
616 one.
Yeah, see you in another universe,
Yeah, which almost sounds, romantic.
Yeah.
All right, anything else, man?
I think that's everything.
That's
I think
it.
we've covered it all.
Quick check-in on Peacemaker. How are you feeling?
Good. I mean, the wait for episode 6 was worth it, because obviously we got the screeners, so we'd seen the last. I mean, I felt like binging the last, because I've seen people's frustrations that not a lot happens in 4 and 5 and that, which I can understand, because I was like, if I hadn't binged it, and then it's like teasing you, but episode 6 I thought was worth it. Like, I'm really enjoying where it's finally going.
Yeah. But I think we talked about this a little bit early on, because I think you had watched season 1, and then I watched the screeners. What did you like about those first couple episodes? Just really briefly.
I really enjoyed sort of just how they opened it into the DCU, basically. Like, you have to watch the previously on just to notice the little differences. Like, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I enjoy that he's sort of bringing the Superman characters in it. Like, obviously episode 6 has Lex Luthor, episode 1 has the Justice Gang, like that kind of thing. Like, I'm really enjoying sort of this alternate universe, like that's his escape, even though we obviously now know why it's so a horrible place, basically. But
Hardcore has that great line, "This is your perfect world."
Yeah. I'm really enjoying, like, because he's got his dad and his brother in this universe, but then even though his life's a pile of rubbish in this other universe, like, he's not in the Justice Gang or anything. Like, he's got this whole, all the 11th Street kids like love him and everything. And
but
like,
I do feel like episodes 2 through 4, you kind of could have skipped those.
Yeah.
A little.
Yeah.
Like, he finds the universe, he goes into the universe, continue.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. Like, I felt like there was a lot of wheel spinning in the first half of the season.
Yeah, like, it definitely like teases you until episode. I mean, that's probably why we didn't get 6 through 8, because they're the big ones,
where stuff actually happens.
Yeah, like, finally.
Yeah. All right, but overall, you're positive?
Yes, very positive.
All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Very long episode, lots of stuff. But this was our big TV.
This is our big, like, Halloween spooky special. So
yeah. Because we have
TV.
we have like aliens, robots, zombies, and Nazis.
Yeah.
What could be scarier?
All you need. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So if you enjoyed our discussions, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Are you excited for more aliens, robots, zombies, and Nazis? Let us know in the comments. I'm Ben. You can find me. I'm Ben. You can find me on Blue Sky. Ben writes words.
I'm Cam. You can find me at Cam and Film.
That's right. Be sure to follow thecosmiccircus.com on Blue Sky and at My Cosmic Circus. You can find more reviews, articles, editorials, and opinions like the ones you just watched. Thanks to everyone. See you next time.
Bye.
And special thanks to our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see even more videos and extended content, please subscribe at the link in the description.
Thank you.
We did it!
Yay.